Hi guys, welcome to Buildapalooza, a boardpod.com series for discussing all the frenzies, excitement, and wildness of building a business, whatever business, by everyday young people in Nigeria. I'm your host, Kelechi. Today I have a very exciting guest, one of my very, very good friends, JB. JB is building in health, IT, and environment, and we would like to hear a lot about the pros and cons and peculiarities of building in these spaces in Nigeria. Welcome, JB.
Thank you very much, Kelechi.
Okay, so please, let's start with you telling us about all of these things. How did you start? You're currently building in health, IT, environment. How is it so far? How has it been?
Well, great. It's been exciting. It's like everyday entrepreneurship, right? And I didn't just deliberately go into all of this. I believe they happened to me. Yes. Number one, I have set out to be. All I wanted to be was to be an actor. Yeah,
Yes,
I just
I
wanted to be
remember.
an actor. But now I'm here because for some reason I'm here now. So interestingly, my adventure in the health space maybe would have stemmed from the fact that parental wish. My parents wanted me to be a doctor. Well, I didn't like blood tissues or body fluids or anything.
I didn't like blood myself.
Yes, but I stayed on. Had to write some JAM to get into Nigerian University. And you must know this, Kelechi, today. I'm a 5-star general in JAM. I wrote JAM 5 times.
Let's not say it. They must not know mine.
So that you know. So I go into the School of Medicine, but it happened to me that I didn't continue. Moved on to do statistics.
Okay.
But finally, I came out, found myself doing some works with organizations that are focused in community medicine, data collection in how to reach communities on issues of immunization, public health. That's how I found myself in the health space. And then I found myself in the environmental area, given that I had other mentors who had interest in environment. So I realized that the health and the environment, there's an area, there's a nexus where they meet. So I find myself playing that space, contributing my parts. I've been worked here, like seriously, I've been doing this already 10 years plus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 10 years plus. So it's interesting, started out a few companies, even in the IT as well, to see how the IT plays in all of this. But again, nothing beats the human-centric approach on everything. The IT is good, IT makes your work easy. But you see, you have to find a way to tie all of this. So that's how I arrived to what I'm doing now. It chose me.
10 years is a long time.
Very
10
long
years
time.
is a very, very long time. And this show is supposed to help inspire young people building anything from fashion, doing anything essentially. You are in the IT, public, IT, health, and environmental space, and you've been doing some of these things for 10 years, right? So tell us, how has it been building in Nigeria? And for Nigerians, what that means is, what are the pros of building in Nigeria? What are the pros of setting up a business in Nigeria? Once that is done, you probably want to mix that with what your cons have been so far and the peculiarities. What stands us out from maybe building in other countries if you have tried it?
No, great. So for Nigeria, really, it's just an exciting place. Nothing is certain, and this is the interest, or better still, what makes the entrepreneur tick. You know, where you have things just changing that are not your make. Mm-hmm. Of course, you are impacted by so many external factors. A fluctuation in dollar will affect your business really, and the fact that you do not have the requisite experience also to interface with certain stakeholder, but they are all about opportunities. The interesting thing is to convert all of these challenges to opportunities, and that's what I've always done. That's what my mentors have helped me to do. It's not easy, but Nigeria is a great place to do all of this. A great place. In fact, you are allowed to do some of these things with the opportunities you have. Not necessarily the experience. If you have somebody who wants you to grow, and that's why I ask young people to seek for mentorship.
You're a young person as well.
No, I'll soon not be a young person. I don't even know if I'm a young person now. I've been old a long time.
Oh, okay.
I've been old a long time, so maybe I want to count myself out. But I am young, just kidding. I am young myself, but entrepreneurship is a burden. It's a burden really, and building enterprises, they are a huge burden. One thing I realize is many of us are not building these things we're building these things for ourselves and not necessarily for national integration or something. We're just building something that fits us. For me, I've always wanted to build businesses that cut across, that are nationalistic in nature, that somebody in the north can use them, somebody in the south can use them, and I have stakeholders or friends or partners who stretch across. This can help you do reach. Because outside of Nigeria, really, I have tried to get my business outside of Nigeria. It wasn't really easy. For the fact that you're not even there is a challenge.
Okay.
That the fact that you're not physically out there is a challenge. But that's not to say that's where technology bridges that gap of your absence. You could do all of the virtual meetings and all of that to get your business happen. But it's an intentional push from you to do all of this.
You know, I would want to get very specifics.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we might want to list them.
Okay.
Pros of doing business in, let's take one of those segments, health.
Okay.
Healthcare in Nigeria. We list them.
Yeah.
We check them off the list, and then we'll move to cons.
Right.
And then maybe we can talk about what stands us out from maybe building in the country you tried to build in.
Yeah.
Let's start with pros.
I tell you for free, Kelechi, you want to listen to everything. I was trying to be very political, but now I have
No,
to
we
speak
can't be
clear.
political.
Oh, great. So the pros really of building here in Nigeria is that there are a lot of opportunities. A lot of opportunities. People want your product. You have to get it out there. It's for you to get it out there. People want your product. That is the first thing. You have the target market is here for any kind of product that you put out.
Okay.
Target market is here. That's a big pro
Okay.
for you. And one other pro I see is that there are opportunities for learning. You may not know all, but you have a lot of people, mentors or stakeholders
But
who
these
want you to
things
grow.
exist
Yeah.
elsewhere. If you are building in other countries, for example,
Yeah,
what are the things that stand us out as Nigerians? Why would I prefer to build in Nigeria compared to building in, let's say, Ghana or somewhere outside of Africa?
Nigerians love their own.
Okay.
Nigerians want their own to grow. I'm telling you, we've seen this over the years. We've seen that Nigeria love. Look, being a Nigerian already is an asset.
Yeah.
Being Nigerian already is an asset. Kelechi, don't do this. It's an asset.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I like to call myself
Yeah.
a patriotic Nigerian.
Great,
so.
of course. So it's an asset. That's why you see we're not exploring the country where there's a lot of gaps, there's a lot of places we can really invest in, not money this time, our time, our expertise. There's a whole lot of things we can do. There are many sectors. So, and also the pros also for being business in Nigeria is that there are many sectors. Once you are able to do anything right, you will get patronage. Trust me. If you ask every businessman who have been here or any entrepreneur who is consistent, yes, there are moments where you cry.
So the key is consistency.
Consistency.
Okay.
Consistency. I cannot tell that I've been very consistent, but I've always tried my best because I told you that there are many factors that affect you as an entrepreneur.
And these are the factors we are here to learn today.
Yes.
So you've talked about a few pros, you know, the fact that the market is here and people are willing to patronize their own. I have a little reservation on that anyway, because we find that for fashion, for example, people prefer to buy foreign-made fashionable items than those. Things are changing now. I know things are changing now. You know, so but I wouldn't want us to hit so much on that. Let's talk about the cons.
Great.
Right? What challenges are Nigerians facing? You know, and then once that is done, you tell us how you are surmounting those challenges. How you're.
All right, great. So usually I patronize made in Nigeria.
Okay.
Like today I have had to come here because of the kind of audience for this broadcast for young people and all of that. I'm not in my element.
Okay.
I'm not in, you know, Kelechi, you know me in a natural day. You know I put on my kaftan and all of that.
Oh,
so,
that's true.
But interestingly, the cons here is that the cons of doing business in Nigeria is that there are many uncertainties. If you are into manufacturing, the dollar rates or change of foreign exchange would affect you more.
I really want you to tie that to your sectors.
Yes. Okay, so for my sector, really, you're trying to import some hospital equipment because most of them we don't make many of them really,
Okay.
and so you have a price today from a supplier. Tomorrow it's changed, and that's been difficult lately. And also, you're trying to get so to do some intervention to do some community outreach in certain communities that have needs after needs assessment. You know that they need this medical intervention, and medications are souring. Medications are now on a certain percentage, more than 50% for normal medication, especially where I have interest in geriatric care, where care for the elderly is a serious matter. And also one of the cons we have seen is that many of the partners are actually leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the sad one.
that's really sad. Our friends are leaving, our business partners are leaving, but we believe that it only gets better. And I want to simply encourage every Nigerian out there, really, every young person who is building, if you build for national purpose, think of yourself as national purpose. And that's what the Otedolas are doing, the Dangotes are doing. Have you heard of Dangote trying to leave? No.
People
he's
will argue
expanding.
that for Dangote he has monopoly, so why would he leave?
No.
He has.
No, but you have to be nationalistic first, then you can expand. Yes, it's blood, sweat, and tears, really. It's not all rosy. Oh. Don't get me wrong. It's not rosy. Sometimes you wake up and you want to sleep again, or you don't want to wake up.
I think that we probably want to talk about this. Starting out.
Yeah.
A bunch of our audience are people who are looking to start or who might just be in the nascent years of their career. I remember when I started to do business. I've tried my hands on a few things, but I was much more active in 2016 thereabout. And even though it was a mixture of business and technology, I found that I was a nomad, that I always had all the necessary things that I needed just because I had to surmount some of the challenges like power. Yeah. I'd find myself in a restaurant sometimes, and my toothbrush, a bunch of the things that I need, were always in my bag. That was how I surmounted some of the challenges in the past, starting out, right? So I would like to hear from you, starting out in public health, whichever one you started out in from first. Yeah. I would like to hear how you were able to, the challenge, obviously you've talked about some challenges, how you were able to surmount those challenges. Yeah. What were you doing, from financing to power? The challenges are a lot.
I started out in retail.
Retail,
okay, cool. Retail of construction and building materials. I started out in retail. Yes.
Exactly why I needed you to be on this show.
Yeah, I started out in retail, really. It was crazy. It was crazy. So I started in retail even while I was an undergraduate.
Oh.
I started in retail. I had a business that was moving, that was okay. I had to, and you speaking about bags, I could remember I had a very big bag there, and the bag had everything I need, from a change of clothes to save food. And then I could go from school back to my business place. It was just tough, but I was enjoying it.
Yeah,
because,
I
was enjoying it because I had some help. I had some friends who were with me at the time. But I left retail because of it was like a gamble, because you can't determine the prices of the materials. When the government changed at one point, materials, you could buy something today, you sell that, you can't buy another one. And when you even have a supply, you can't do that. Yeah, so I couldn't stay anymore in that field, but I still have interest. But now I am very much interested in the health space, as well as technology and then the environment. Now I then moved into technology. I had a couple of opportunities to work with some teams that were building products. And also I got to work for a government agency on a full-time base that was promoting technology products. Yeah, that's another different ball game, but it was interesting for me at the time. I met a lot of guys who are doing very well now, by the way. I used to go and talk to them at the time, because my role was to help them put their product in the market or help them build build their MVP, the minimum viable product.
Okay.
So that's how I got into IT. But then I realized that the IT or technology was just a means to an end.
Okay.
It was not everything.
Obviously,
Yes,
obviously.
it's not everything. So that's the mistake I don't want young people to make, or we shouldn't make that mistake, thinking that technology is everything. It's just a means to an end. And that's why even big businesses are failing when they try to just hold on to technology. Technology is an enabler.
Yeah.
It's not the end.
I hear something a lot. What is that? I hear lowest hanging fruit a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. For people building in traditional setting, and I'm saying this because you ventured into building materials.
Yeah.
And every one of those kinds of businesses are welcome on this show, because this show is not for IT only, or it's for every single business people are venturing. If you're venturing into welding, how are you navigating that space? You know, so what should young people facing? I mean, I think that maybe I shouldn't even have to ask what all the cons are, because it's
a whole lot.
It's a whole lot. It's clear. But how can young people right now, looking for food, for example, trying to get their business set up or to stand, how can they navigate some of these issues with foreign exchange, issues with power? There are a lot, and I understand these issues, especially if you coming from a buying and selling place. I just went to buy a few things, right? I was there 3 weeks ago, and it was 8,000. I was like, okay, I just came to check it. Yeah, I went back today, and it had gone up to 10,000 there. You know, and I decided to buy because I'm sure that if I go some other time, so how should somebody doing a small business, whether in your space or not, find a way around this? Is there a way around it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you this, and you can see the example everywhere, right? Just stay hungry all the time. What I mean, it's hungry for success. Even hungry in the belly creates creativity. I'm telling you, I'll give you a quick example, right? If you're a football fan, I think it's an African thing. Our African players, when they move to Europe, they start doing well. After a while, they now have wealth. Their quality drops. It's happening even in the normal business. That's why many businesses are not taking off. Once you make the first $1 million investment in your business, it begins to die off. I don't understand why. So it's the passion of the entrepreneur to stay hungry all the time. Hungry for the next step. Hungry for the next step. Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's just like what a doctor will do, that I'm here to save life. It's what the preacher will do. I am here to take the gospel across the world. Yeah? It's what you will do. I'm here to take my product everywhere. It is your role as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not a means to an end. If money is your reason for entrepreneurship, my brother, you get the money. But over the years, you will not last.
Okay.
You will not be able to collaborate. You will not build. You just make the money and then you fizzle away.
If money only.
If money only.
Okay.
Thank you. If money only. Yes, everybody wants money. But are you really... Now, come to think of it, because of my experience working in the government sector and maybe teaching these entrepreneurs how to take their businesses to the market, we found out that, design thinking is everything. It's a concept we're all doing it too. Somehow we're all
need to break that down.
Yes, I'm going to do that. All of us are doing design thinking now. Because it's out of design thinking really that you wanted to create something in the first place. It's from empathy. This cup was made from empathy from people. People are raising their hand to drink water in taps. Somebody felt, wait a minute. If I create something that is hollow, people can drink water. They can't use their hand anymore. Maybe the hands is dirty or you're doing... So it's every product you see has come from a place of empathy from the designer. It's the same thing as an entrepreneur. I want to solve this problem. Money is not the goal. Because when you get to where the money is, the business is over.
Let's talk, we're wrapping up. Let's talk scale.
Right.
Let's talk scale. We're going to talk about scale and consistency.
Yeah.
I am very, very, people are different. I've been doing one business for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, you obviously, a lot of people obviously don't know me. It means that in 7 years, I'm still an underdog, right? Trying to get something right. But there's also an issue of scale for people who are doing traditional business.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I want people to be hungry or hungrier. I tell my friends, if I were doing a business, for those who might not know what Okada is, motorcycle business, if I had no skill and I was actually riding a motorcycle, I wonder if it's my Igbo man psych. I know that I am not going to stay driving that bike forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's a business. This is part of what we're talking about. So for those people driving bikes, for example, and doing traditional businesses that don't look like they scale,
Yeah.
right? They do it over a long period of time.
Yeah.
They almost do it all their lifetime.
Yeah.
How should they be thinking about these businesses? You know, especially as Nigerians, serving Nigerians.
Yeah. Kelechi, you must know today that all of us has always scaled one way or the other, whether it's in our business or when we are doing manual labors. I know when I was in the retail business for construction and building material, I knew a guy who had a bike. He was driving a bike. From there, he got a car. From that car, he came into that business, and he was the best. He was the best in the arena where we traded at the time. He's the very best. Though he's late now, but he was the very best because in a few years, less than 5 years, he's able to start even importing directly from China. Those are the heroes that we don't speak about. I also think one of the things that happened to us is over-education as young people.
I've never heard that.
No. We go read all the books. Look, I'm very happy about my entrepreneurship journey, getting to the informal sector, doing the building material business. I'm very happy about it. It helped me to understand that, look, over-education is the problem.
Do Nigerians actually need to do that? Maybe spice up their formal education with some informal...
Listen, that is the only way you can even have value for money.
Okay.
Many people don't have value for money. And it's so sad that the higher institutions, they frown at people working and going to school. That's why we have a lot of people who don't have jobs and there's no creativity. Look, I don't know, but I don't think there's a research about it, but I think that if you work and go to school, you have value for money. Even you will do better because you will know that, look, I have to do better. I was working and schooling. It was always exciting, but the school need to even help us by sticking to their timetable and encouraging students to work. And schools should own businesses where students can work. Though it's happening, some schools, I know that some universities have, like in Nigeria, have some students who are employed by the school to work with the school. Yeah, that is good. But also we should start talking about the informal. The informal business is large, it's big for all of us. Everybody wants to get a job in a government agency.
Can you tie that back to the question I asked earlier about scale?
Yes.
And consistency.
So scale is when you improve your business. And that's where many entrepreneurs are not getting it because they stay in the same level for years. Now, if you are consistent, you must scale because you get somebody come and say, I need X, I need more than what you have. That is scale. And you have to start looking for how to get that. And that's when you actually approach the bank. I teach people that you don't get a loan or take a loan if you're not scaling. You use sweat equity to build your business. Leverage on everything you can do.
There are a lot of conversations we can have about sweat equity and all these big formal
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
terminologies.
I'm so sorry.
Right? I would like us to wrap up on this note. 10 years. You've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
I am very, very interested in letting people know, helping people understand that building a business is not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
And the way people get there is different for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, where would you say you are right now as a businessman? Where would you say you are right now?
Yeah.
You know, just maybe someone can look at you and say, you've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
And this is where you are.
Yeah.
And compare themselves with you and say, I've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
and I was feeling down about, you know, maybe I still have hope. You know, do you think that after doing business for 10 years, there should have actually been there is a template for where you should be in 10 years? What does that look like for you now? Where are you now?
Yeah, great. I understand the question deeply, and this is the path for encouragement for starters and people who have been somewhere for 10 years or 20 years. It's not about the time. I mentioned, when I started earlier, I said about the opportunities, how to change the challenges to opportunities. 10 years is for some people it's a long time, but it's not a long time. But look at the successes you have done, you have achieved in these 10 years. For me, now I am building teams. I know many people I've worked with, we have improved ourselves. We know what is better. We look forward to the future. That is a success. I can't tell you what tomorrow will be, but it's about the human impact. How has this 10 years impacted on me as an entrepreneur, as the person who is driving myself and driving processes? Has it impacted on me? Has it impacted on my team? Is there a multiplier effect? I may not get there. Somebody can get there. That's how we help us. It's a building, it's a staircase. I may be at the one of the rungs and help others up. I don't mind. I'm not looking for tomorrow. I'm looking to better the process that I'm in to have other people go to the next level. But I'm sure that in the next 10 years will be much interesting. New technologies will happen, new friendships will be built, and more opportunities will happen. So I'm excited about it. I look forward to it.
All right, JB, thank you so much for coming on this show. It was really nice having you. I have personally learned a lot from somebody who has been doing business for 10 years. I am sure that putting all of this into my business, consistency, you know, dealing with regulations and all the pros and cons of building a business, you know, I and a lot of the viewers will have a better business, you know, a growing business. So we'd like to have you back on this show sometime. We hope we can pull you from your busy schedule to be here. Thank you so much for coming here. All right, thank you so much, guys.